Hello everyone, welcome to our Happy at Home. It is April 18th, Monday, April 18th, and we are here for one of our live crafty sessions where we explore something fun related to scrapbooking. And I'm so glad that you're here joining me today. Hello Donna, hello Wynell, and hello Lisa. I see your comments here. So that's awesome. Happy Easter if you were celebrating Easter this weekend. Hopefully that all went really well. I actually woke up yesterday morning. My husband said, Alice, look out the window by the rototiller. And there was a little brown bunny in my yard. So the Easter bunny actually visited my yard yesterday. I was like, okay, that's just too cute. Too cute. And we were also celebrating our 25th anniversary yesterday, so that was an extra special day. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Jenny says hi. She's sitting at home just kind of listening. So that's awesome. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about Nuvo Glacier Paste. And I thought, well, maybe we'll talk about more Nuvo stuff too. But I can sum up one thing about the Nuvo drops is that the Dream Drops are the only drops that I buy now because they're amazing and they make the perfect little enamel dots. When I played with different ones, especially what were they called? Vintage ones or something like that. They were so horrible. They made like chocolate chips almost. Like they looked terrible. They were so terrible. So I just did not love those. My friend Amy assures me that the gloss, any of the gloss ones are also fine. But I tell you, these Dream Drops, best recommendation that I got at Creativation, like in 2020, I think. Yeah, about the Nuvo drops. The Dream Drops are the ones. However, if you don't like waiting for your enamel drops to dry, then you're probably just going to buy normal enamel dots and be fine with it. Lisa said she had a visit from a little brown bunny also, but it was chocolate. I love it. So, and then I thought, we could talk about the glacier, the mousses, right? Because they have expanding mousse and they have some other different mousse and they come in little jars like this. And I opened both of these up and they are both dried up. So, note to self, use it or lose it. We've said that a few times this month already. And and I think it's just one more way for us to remember, like when you buy mixed media supplies, you have to use them. Otherwise, you don't get the chance to use them. However, there is one product that I have been over the moon excited about because I think it is wonderful. And we did introduce it a little bit last week when we were playing with texture paste. So when we were playing with texture paste, we should I just remind you guys to show you what we did last week? So we played with texture paste and then we did some color on top of the texture paste. Here, might be better if I go like this. And I just love, this was the one that was the mining block stencil. And so I used texture paste and then I smeared color over top. And these ones were Vicky Bouton watercolor markers that we used. Lisa's like, I thought you were talking about a moose, M-O-O-S-E, not moose, M-O-U-S-S-E. I love it. Yes, not that kind of moose, although we get those in my yard too. And then I also used texture paste and put some of the Nuvo Glacier Paste over top. And I thought these clouds are some of the sweetest things that I have made. I just love how those turned out. And and see how shiny they are. Oh, so pretty. I had also done texture paste with some spray and these hearts just turned out so wonderful. So that was our little quick introduction with those clouds, but I thought, why not have another day where we really explore and play a little bit more with some of these Nuvo pastes. So these are their Glacier Paste. I like the little jars, and they seem to seal up better, and they don't seem to dry out like some of the other products that I've had. So I really quite like that as well. I don't have a huge collection. I have 6 of them. So I don't even have enough to make a pretty flower if I hold them up like this. I just have 6 of them. But I tried, I think, 2 or 3 first, and then I bought some more. And I think that's generally what I do, which is why I'm not throwing out a ton of these other ones that I tried out on me. I did play with them a little bit, but not as much as I should have. They're still pretty full, and they are done. So, which is disappointing, right? These ones have lasted a lot better in my stash, and they come in such pretty colors, and I think it would be fun to play with that today. Yeah, so these are a paste. It says on the package, it says, glam things up a notch with our Nuvo Glacier Paste. Simply paste over a stencil or rub directly on a surface. Effective on a variety of materials, scrape off any extra paste and return to the jar and leave it to dry. So rub it on something and then you're done, right? Like, it's not too hard. I like instructions like that. I've also found that cleanup of this stuff is pretty simple. It washes up pretty easy with water. Even if it's a little dried on my stencil by the time I'm washing it off, it will still mostly come off. I say mostly because in this little jars, there is mica flakes. So mica... It's a little bit like glitter in the way that it will get on everything and stay on everything. So just be warned, when you're using shiny stuff, you're using shiny stuff, and that stuff likes to get everywhere. It does say test before use, dry flat for 24 hours, adult craft item, keep away from children, blah, 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 blah. Right? So all their little warnings. But yeah, it's really easy to use, and it's super creamy. And so I thought we would make a few little accents for some backgrounds. Yeah, sounds easy. I know, easy is good. So I have a couple of tools that I use for spreading goopy things. So I have a really flexible little spatula here, and I have this other more firm metal spatula, which is technically a Cricut tool for scraping those things off your sheets, but you know, it's fine. April says, I have just one Glacier Paste. It's gold, but I love the one that I have. I was blown away by how great it looked. Yeah, and I didn't actually get a gold one yet, like shocking. So let me show you what I have, and then we'll start right away with playing, because we should just dive in. So I have 6 colors, like I said, and if I turn them on the side, you'll be able to see a little bit. If I turn them upside down, you'll be able to see them even better. So I started off with a light pink. It is called Frosted Petal. And then to get a little more detail, I wanted a darker pink, which they also had, which is called Mambo Melon. I thought that a blue looked nice with that, so we ended up with Sea Sprite. And the yellow is called Pineapple Delight. I like that name, actually. And the green is a darker green than I thought. Like, when I look at like this little combo of colors here, the green is really quite dark once I used it. I wish it was a little lighter, actually. Green Envy. And I don't think they have a lighter one, but maybe they do now. Who knows? And then, of course, my final one is the white one, which is Winter White. So those are my colors. And I think with these colors, you can kind of do a lot of stuff, right? Like, I've done a little bit of blending. They will blend, but you can also kind of use them in ways that keep them a little separate. So let's just go back to the clouds again that we did last week. you'd have to look at the texture paste day. So if you're looking for something like this and be like, what did she do there? Texture paste. That was the day last week when we did texture paste. So I used light modeling paste from Liquitex to do a base. And then I smeared some of this Nuvo paste over the top while that texture paste was still wet. And with that effect, I used some of the pink, some of the white, and some of the blue. And so if you look closely at these clouds, oh yeah, that shows up pretty good. You can see how there are light spaces. Some areas aren't covered with any of the shiny stuff, so you can kind of like see the hole in this cloud here in particular that doesn't have any kind of paste on it at all. It just has some of the texture. And yeah, could you mix the green with the... We will try that today, Debbie. She's like, can you mix the green with the white to lighten it up? We will try that and see. I don't know if it will because of the pigmentation of it. And I don't know if it will blend to make it lighter. So that's an experiment for today. But I really like how I was able to do kind of like swatches of pink near the bottom of the clouds, more blue at the top, and then kind of in the center I've got little bits of the white just to make it shiny. So yes, I think that that's some of the things that we need to test. I'm gonna pull out some stencils and this one or that one or this one or that one. I do really like this one, but I think we're going to go with one that's more leafy. Okay. So one thing about using anything that's kind of messy like this, if you're trying to do it on a 12 by 12 sheet, it can be a challenge if you don't have a 12 by 12 stencil. Oh, that's funny. It's like... Hello, do you have stencils? Yes, you do. Did you put them away? No, you didn't. They're sitting here on my desk. Okay, there we go. They're here. It's not that bad. That came out so pretty. I know, right? So gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one area with one of the colors with one of the stencils because you kind of have to let it dry. And I'm going to keep it really light and we'll see how long it kind of takes before I can put a stencil back over it and do more stuff to it. So I don't think there's any number or method to these. When we did use these ones earlier on this month and we were talking about layered stencils, I had put a little dot in the corner so I know kind of how they line up, and I'm just going to put this into the corner of the paper and we'll just do that in the corner. And if I want this differently, like maybe I want to cut them out, maybe I just want to use them like this, maybe I'll cut it into a card. I really don't know what I'm doing with it yet, so I'll just leave myself all the options just by having it here because I could always do more of them on this page, right? And it's not going right to the edge, so chances are I won't use it exactly like this, but that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna just tape this down to this paper. And maybe I'll just tape my paper a little bit too because it's going to slide all over. Oh, and I taped it off camera. That's helpful, right? When you can't even see. My camera's obviously tipped just a little bit because it's a little further away from me on my desk than I usually have it. Okay, so since they're leaves, we're going to try the green. So I think now I don't have the one called Pixie Wings. I know, so sad. There's more great colors. And here's my thought. I could collect more colors, right? I could get more of these because they're lovely. But if I'm not using the ones that I have, then what's going to happen? They're going to end up in my little trash bin all dried out. So is it better for me to just make good use of the ones that I have? Probably, right? Oh, so tough when we have to make decisions about what we get to buy. And how much we can really keep in our stash. Okay, let's move these. And I didn't put this onto a mat. I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, this stuff can clean up. But I might want to mix some stuff. So let's put a little mat here so I can mix some of this green. And we'll see if it mixes up with the white to make it a little bit lighter. Okay, I will also have a piece of paper towel, and I have a water sprayer so that I can potentially wash some things up if I need to. So let's have a look at how it looks for starters, just with the green. Here is the stuff in the jar. Oh, you guys, my hands are so dry. It's just been a total nightmare with dry skin. It's been so bad. Yeah, and so I'm just gonna smear this right in here. It's gonna be like probably as thick as the stencil is. And these ones, you can see kind of how dark of a green this really is, right? When I was thinking that I was buying these together, I'm like, those are gonna be great together. And it's really quite a dark green compared to them. So I'm gonna do these first top ones just with the full-on green, and then we'll try some other experiments as we go down the page here. Let's fill those in. And it says you can just like put any extra stuff, so scrape it off as much and then just scrape it back into your thing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mix some here on the side. So we're going to see if we can make it, probably won't need as much of the green. If we can mix it with some of the white. Now I'm not going to stick this into the white. That will be Contamination City. This is not, this chip and dip. Oh my gosh, my cousin's little 4-year-old was here the other day, and we told her, when you take a chip, you can't take a bite of it and then put it back into the chip container. Like seriously, I was freaking out. Like, no, no, absolutely no. And yeah, so she's like, okay, I won't. And then the very next chip, she takes a bite and puts it back in the thing. I'm like, I just said. Like, oh, kids are so cute. But oh, little germ factories. We don't have to wonder why kids are germ factories, right? That says it all right there. Okay, so I'm mixing this in with the white, and is it making it lighter? I guess, but it doesn't really feel like, it's not like it's changing the tone of it. So in that, I'm saying, like, maybe I might be using the wrong color word. Correct me, like, that's fine. Oh, it is actually lightening up a lot. Okay, I'm getting, it's better than I thought. Okay, because I was thinking that it wasn't actually changing the color, but it is. Because, like, when you mix, like, white, a little bit of red into some white paint, right, then you make pink. And depending on how much red, you get how dark your pink is. And so that's what I was trying to do here, to see if I could actually make this into a lighter green. I'm going to do this at the bottom, and I have a different idea for the middle. So it's definitely going lighter, so that's good. Oh, I smushed underneath there. This won't be a very clean stencil right here. I got the tip of my blade underneath. Okay, so now this looks really cool, and it is way lighter than the top one. But I think what would be even cooler is if we mix a little bit of blue into it. What do you think? Ooh, April says that if you put some press and seal over the top before you replace the cap. She says she didn't have press and seal. She had saran, so she just used that. I recently bought press and seal for this reason and one other reason that we should get to this month. Okay, I'm going to take some of the blue and put the blue here too. And I'm going to mix some of the blue in with the green. And I think that will be pretty, right? Okay. And then I'm just wiping this one off to make sure that it's clean so that I can go dipping into all the stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start by mixing with the lighter green that I made. And we'll do the bottom parts here like that. And then we'll see the real transformation, right? When we actually lift the stencil. When you get that big reveal, right? That's when you really see. And now I'm going to mix some more of the darker green in with the blue. And we'll get it. So my husband texted me right before. And he's like, where's the chicken lady at? I'm getting baby chicks today. So pretty excited. Gonna have some baby chickies. And my ones on the incubator are only days away. Okay. I think we did good. I think it's good. Now I don't have a tub to mix this back into because it's all mixed together. But that's okay. Are you ready for the reveal? This is like the magical part. I love it. Now there's one spot that I know I pretty much messed up on, but I think it'll be okay. Oh. Okay, that worked really good, you guys. That worked really, really good. So let me hold this up so that you can really see the effect. You can see how these ones are a dark green. And you can see like where some parts like bled underneath my stencil when I was mucking and not like just smoothly spreading it across. And then yeah, and then lighter and lighter and the light ones that I mixed. So you can definitely see from the dark to the ones that are slightly bluish to the ones that are light. And this is like where I said I messed up. So like, really, is that a big deal? Probably not, right? That's pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Because now with my other layers, right, this is a layered stencil, so I'll be able to lay the other layers of this stencil on and put them in. What do you do with all the eggs? Right now I have 14 chickens, so 1 rooster and 13 hens. So we get roughly 8 to 10 eggs every day, which is a lot of eggs. I do have a 21-year-old son that lives here, and he eats some eggs most days, and then my husband tucks into them, and when we have a bunch left over, we have a guy that buys them for $5 a dozen. So yeah, but we do end up getting, like, selling some of the eggs. Yeah, the one with the blue, it's really pretty. I'm so excited. April says we saw chicks hatching at the livestock show and rodeo. It never gets old. I know. I'm like so excited for them to start hatching. I can't wait. I'll be bringing up little baby chickies for you guys to see. Because I won't be able to resist. They're just too cute. Okay. Oh, I should have brought my bucket here today. Why didn't I bring my bucket? Oh, I know. I washed it. I put it in the dishwasher. It's like, oh yeah. Okay, so that's a really pretty. Now, if I wipe off the back of this stencil, right, and just kind of get as much as I can off the back of it, I think it'll be okay, and I can just move it to the other side of this paper. For the most part, it should be fine, right? I'm going to lay this down over here, and I'll just do this again. Only we'll do a few more mixings. Like, we're still going to stay with green, but we'll see kind of what else we can add to the green to make it cool. Is this going to let me tape it here? Sure. Okay. Okay, so I've got some leftover, some of this, so I'll start this at the bottom. And so if I didn't want to do like a whole page, because it would be inconvenient to do this as a whole page, this would be nice to have like as a little accent that tucks underneath a corner of a photo. So maybe you wouldn't do all of the little leaves. You might choose just some of the more full leaves, and you could have just those pieces tucked out of the corner of a photo, and that would be really nice on a layout. So that would be more just of a little accent that kind of hides behind. Okay, so we're scraping up most of this product here. Get most of it onto my page. Okay, and these ones here are just gonna be partial, I think. Yeah, oh, I got most of that one in. Yeah, now it becomes a thing when you have chickens. They have this thing, and you hear about it when you first start getting chickens. They call it chicken math. And you're like, oh, what's chicken math? And they're like, well, you get 1 chicken, then you get 2 chickens, and then you get 20 chickens, and then you get 30 chickens. And it totally happens. It's so real. It is so real. Okay, let's just put this on the mat, give that a little wipe. Now I think we should put a little bit of this yellow in to see how that looks too with this. I think I can go to here and that'll be okay. So I'm going to take some of the green and then I'll grab some of the yellow and see how that mixes in. Yeah, and like with any of your stencils, if you're worried that you're going to like not, if you don't want to like fill in a certain leaf, right? Like maybe you don't want partial leaves, right? You don't want the edge ones, you just want more full pieces that are sticking out from behind your photos. You can just tape off the ones that you don't want to actually use. Okay, so I'm gonna put this yellow in here. I love this yellow. It is such a perfect, what do they call it? Pineapple Delight? It's like, good name. Very good name. Okay, so let's bring this green into the yellow. So we'll make more of a greeny yellow. And of course, like, you don't have to mix the colors. You can just go ahead and take them straight out of the jar and put them on. But I've done that lots of times. So then it's time to play, right? Once you've tried something, then it's time to get playful and see what else you can do. And spread that. Fantastic. And so fast, it's so easy. It does take a little bit of time to dry. Like that package said 24 hours, but in my experience, the stuff doesn't take 24 hours to actually dry. Now, so far, we've actually gone ahead and mixed the colors directly, right? We've mixed them here on my palette. But I think what I'd like to try next is doing some of them where I apply a different color and then just smear another color over top. A little bit like what I did with the clouds last week. I think these turned out pretty good. So I'm going to set these aside. And you can see the little hint of yellow here. Some of those have some yellow. Some of these are the lighter colored ones that were just left over. I'm just going to pop it up here into the drying zone. There's another sheet. And I'm going to grab a different one of these stencils this time. Because I've got that one all mucked up a lot. So because I want to start with some other colors on the stencil, I want a clean stencil. So we're going to grab a clean stencil. Now, of course, like, you can just take your stencil and wash it, dry it off quick, and then you're good. April says the one I have is called Golden Era and it looks more yellow in the jar, but oh my gosh, it's totally metallic gold when it dries and perfect for Christmas. Ooh. That sounds nice. Yeah, and now that I know, like, that I've been able to keep these without having them dry up on me really quickly, because I've had them for as long as I have, 1 year, 2 years. Like, I've had them for quite some time. I've dipped into them several times, so they have been opened, and they're not all dried up on me, which means that it makes it easier for me to go ahead and have more fun with them, right? Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off with some water because we're gonna go in with this green after I put some other colors in. But I want to have this a little more cleaned off. And then tomorrow I can tell you how much I regret not cleaning these stencils off right away. We'll see. Like, usually it's not bad, but, you know, I'll have the full scoop for you tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to do some of them with this white, and I'll just do, like, partial coverage with white. I'll do this one too. And I think that's pretty clean. Yeah. I worry as I start mixing the things. I'm like, don't contaminate it. Don't contaminate it. And then I'll do a couple with the yellow. And then we'll go in and we'll add some green to all of them. Isn't this yellow pretty? Oh my gosh. It's a color I love. Okay. And then I'm going to do these final ones up here with some blue. Okay. Now that I've got those colors kind of in there, I'm going to go ahead and grab this green and fill the rest of them with the green. So it will kind of be, how much do I have to mix them? Do I have to mix them a little more? I guess we'll see. I think this was actually way easier on the clouds that I did because those texture pastes were already at the level and then I was just smearing a little bit on top. So maybe that was a magical trick that I kind of discovered with this. We'll see how this goes. But pretty much whatever I can see on the top will end up being the color that I end up seeing, I'm sure, right? So I'm worried that I lost almost all of my blue in that part with the green. And this green looks so dark against this yellow. Oh my gosh. And then I'm gonna go down here and add some to the white. But I think this would be better with the texture paste. I think we should try that again, actually. Because I think this effect will be better with texture paste. Just looking at it already. And who knows, like I'll lift this up and we'll see what this actually like turned out like. But I'm thinking that the texture paste, because it kind of filled in the stencils, will be better. But this is why you test, right? You kind of see what's gonna work. Okay. Yeah, I lost all of the blue, most of the white. They're okay. Like, I can definitely use this. This is fine. But I definitely lost a lot of the magic of those pieces by the layering. And maybe if I did the green first, maybe that's what we'll try. If we try layering the green first and see if that makes a difference, because then I'm putting that other color on top of the green. Okay. I'm just kind of wiping this off so it's not going to be clean. It's not going to be clean. It's going to be a little clean-ish. Hello, Sophia. Yeah, we are just playing with Nuvo Glacier Paste today and experimenting a little bit with this and kind of seeing the effects that we can create using the different colors, especially when we're playing with the different colors together. This was kind of a fail over here. Like, it really didn't turn out kind of as I was envisioning it. So we're gonna go in and fill these holes with the green this time, and then I'll smear some of the other color over top of the green, because it's more like whatever color you're seeing on the top is whatever color we're seeing. Okay, this is, might have to grab some more green, or I'll just end up filling with more other colors. That would be fine too. Okay, yeah, I think I'll just fill with the other colors. I won't even bother getting more green. Okay. Yeah, I think that these have just been so much fun to play with. I love this shimmery shiny. So even though this was a fail on that technique that I just did, it's not a fail because I would totally still use this. Like, it's beautiful. It just didn't give me the desired effect that I was looking for with the blend of the colors. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and I'll start with the white since I've just kind of cleaned this off. And we'll see if I can smear some of the white into some of these spaces with the green to make it less bright. Yeah, I think that's it. I was just getting my layers wrong. You gotta layer the light over the dark. What's the difference between this and the usual Nuvo Glacier Paste? Well, I can tell you, the usual stuff has dried up on me every time. That's the first thing. I keep drying those other ones out, and these ones actually don't. These ones are really, the other ones are more almost like, if you're relating them to makeup, it would be like something that you would scoop out with a sponge and put on your face. Like, what is that? Cream foundation or something like a cream foundation. Whereas this is more of like a whipped frosting kind of stuff, right? Like, you can see how soft and creamy it is when I'm grabbing it out of there. So totally different feeling of it. This stuff is full of the mica flakes, and I like working with it more than the other stuff, and I've had better success in keeping it in my stash long enough for me to actually use it. So other than that, the technical properties, it's not an expanding foam, so it's not like the expanding mousse stuff. Yeah, so I don't really know about the technical properties. I'm not a Nuvo salesperson. If you see it and you like it, it's just something that I liked and that I bought for myself. If you want to use my affiliate links and you want to buy something, I do have affiliate links. I'm pretty sure these are listed because I do quite like them on my favorites page, which is that link down there. But scraphappy.org/faves, FAVES. Okay, let's turn that off. But yeah, no pressure. Not that it's pressure. Shopping isn't really pressure, is it? Shopping isn't really pressure. Okay, this is looking way more like what I was expecting the last time. And I think it's just that I wasn't doing that part right. And I'm actually adding a little bit of blue down in these other spots because I had a little left over. I think that's just gonna be pretty. Okay, so let's have a look at that. And, ooh, okay, that's way better. It's way better. Okay, so let me show you. So here's the first one where I put the blue down first and the yellow down first and the white down first. And then when I added the green, you kind of really lost those other colors for the most part, except where I was able to kind of like not dab in those spots. But here's where I did the green down first and then I added the other colors on top. Now you see that there's a little bit of smear underneath my stencil. I haven't been exactly super careful as I've been applying my stuff. If you're really picky about something like that, there is a Pixie Spray that you can use. You spray your stencil, you let it dry for like a minute or something, and then you can put your stencil on your page and it kind of lightly sticks to it so that you don't get any of those little under messes, right? The pieces don't lift off at all. One thing that I will say is that last week when I did the texture paste and then put the stuff on top of it, I didn't get a lot of that under messes, like the under the stencil. The texture paste really held the stencil in place, and then I really didn't get a bunch of bleed underneath. Like there's a little tiny spot right there, I guess, where some of the texture paste got under. But for the most part, like when I really look at all of the ones that I did with the texture paste, they're really clean, right? That there's no mess underneath the stencil. So, and even on this one, there's a little spot right there where I let it lift, and I think there's one here. So if you're really picky and that kind of stuff would be like driving you insane, then Pixie Spray might be a thing for you to consider. But yeah, I guess I'm just not quite. I have it. I used it like once for one really particular, like I think of it more for myself as something for really delicate stencils. And these are semi-delicate, but not super delicate, like ones that are really have pieces that aren't well connected to hold them in place. These for me are easy enough to work with. Okay, I want to try this one more time. I know, like it's like, how many leaves is she gonna make? Boring. Like do something different, Alice. But I think that I would like to see the difference of doing this on top of the texture paste. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this and I'm going to wash this one off so that I can use it better with the other stuff. While I'm doing that really quickly and grabbing the texture paste, I would love for you to tell me what has been your favorite mixed media that you have ever played with. And paints, watercolors, pastes, sprays, like anything. Tell me what your favorite one is. I'd love to know. And I will be back in just a second because my sink is really close. Okay. Also need the texture paste. It's right here. Okay, so comments. I see that April said she used it without and then with Pixie Spray, and she did get a crisper result with the Pixie Spray, but even without it, most of them worked pretty well. She had stars, so she got crisper points in the corners with the Pixie Spray. That's a good tip, right? And I think that, you know, there will be some projects where you want like an even better result, and sometimes where you're like, look, it's fine, it's all good. Let's see, Misty says, you know me, watercolor. Yes, but I'm enjoying texture paste more and more, and paste and watercolor is fun. Yes, that's what I used for the Mind Block one. Those are texture paste and then some Vicky Boutin watercolor smeared over top with her watercolor markers. So I didn't wash this. I'm just going to show you, like, in this ultra quick wash that I did. Can you see there's still some mica on the stencil, but I've got most of the color off of here. So, well, it's not clean, and I was pretty quick about it. It's good enough for us to keep playing. Right? Good enough for us to keep playing. Sophia says one of the prettiest was using Viva Silver Glitter Paste over top of acrylic silks. The glitter paste absorbs the paint color, which is super shiny, and the shimmer is just amazing. Ooh, that sounds really cool. And if you look at like Sophia's little profile image, she's got some artwork going on there. Looks like she knows what she's doing. Diane says probably alcohol inks, but I do have some Nuvo Glaciers that I'll be getting out. I love it. Right? I think when the companies that we enjoy that make these different products come out with something new for us to try, like, it's totally fun to try it and just get a feel for the product. And that's kind of what my goal has been, is just to get a feel for the product so that I'll know if that's something that I want to keep playing with. Okay. So today I'm just using my White Daisy cardstock. It's not fancy cardstock. It's just the close to my heart standard stuff. It's not thick for texture and stuff. So, probably do have some foundation paper. A little bit better when I'm using my Liquitex modeling paste. It'll work on this, but I might get a little more bending of the paper, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm not too worried. So let's see here. Let's go back to this one here, and we'll tape this down. Alcohol inks, I love them. They're so beautiful. We haven't played with them yet this time around, right? We've played with them before. I played with the Yupo paper. Yeah, lots of fun. Actually, one thing that I noticed that had just come out not too long ago was they came out with a larger stamping foam in the Simon Hurley's collection with the stamp foam. And I just thought that was really fun. And I actually was looking at some of the results from the ones I made last time, because I had them all in a little stack. And I really loved seeing all the things that I made with that. April says, I don't know, mixed media. I would say my favorite thing to use with mixed media is stencils, but mediums, I'd have to say ink. Is ink mixed media anymore? It's so mainstream now. You can call it that. You can call it whatever you like. It's totally fine. Doesn't bother. I'm not a stickler for details like that. Okay, we should clean this off just a little bit, right? Clean this off so I don't have all the mica in here. Okay. Is that enough? I think I might need a little bit more. I don't know how much to take. Okay. Just gonna put it on here. Okay, we're gonna spread this texture paste here. This is Liquitex flexible modeling paste. and it's just gonna fill in these gaps in the stencil super well. And oh, I can see a couple of my little leaf pieces not wanting to stay down because I bent them when I was cleaning. Because I'm not always that careful when I clean. I use a scrub brush. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Did I get it into all the spots? I think so. So yeah, when I used this last week with the texture paste, we did the clouds, we did the other ones, but then I put this different glacier paste over top, and I really liked that effect. So that's what we're gonna try for again today. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Lynn says watercolors. Danielle says it's pretty, and the most important thing is it's better than horrible. Better than horrible. So fun. Sophia says one of her favorite stamps is an enormous stamp pandas one in her little avatar pic. There you go. That's her flower. It's one of her favorite stamps. So it's so fun to kind of have access to some of these products, right? Like they're just fun to use. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here with some white first. Again, oh, what did we learn? Hold on. I'm learning nothing, you guys. I'm learning nothing. I'm learning nothing. So, dark to light. That's what we were learning, right? Dark to light. Okay, so we're gonna smear a little bit of the green on first. It's like, can't teach me anything. Right? Isn't that what they say? Okay, there's the green. Jenny was looking in her stash. I have the Nuvo embellishment mousse, and it looks like it might be dry. You can see if it works. You can sometimes rework some of them. So here's what I did. No, it takes some dedication. Open it up, put some water in it, and then take something where you can break it up slowly, and then let that water soak into that, and then break it up more, and then break it up more. And like, I'm almost scared to say this because like I don't want you to stab yourself, but I use like my stabby tool, paper piercer. I would use that to kind of break it into pieces to try to get the water into it. And I have rescued the embellishment mousse. If it's not the expanding mousse, you're not needing like the fancy whatever qualities it has, so you might be able to save it. But getting it to the creamy texture takes some work. And the ones I have here were expanding mousse, so I'm just writing them off. Like, we're calling them done. But yeah, take something that breaks up. Maybe a fork would be better. Safer, probably. No scrapbook injuries. Safety first. Wear your protective gear. There's no health and safety claims around here. Oh, I think this is gonna be pretty. Okay. Let's get another color. And let's see here. We'll go a little bit of the yellow, little tinge of it. I got two, not enough yellow. these are going to be the prettiest ones, you guys. I think so. And I don't think I'm going to go in with the white at all, actually, on these. Okay, I think we're good. Hold on, there's a new comment I didn't see. Oh, yeah, thanks for the tips. Well, beware. At user's own risk. Right? So funny. But I have got it to work again, but like, you know, better to not let it dry out. This is the best one, seriously. Look at how pretty the color variation I was able to get is. And they look crispier for the most part, other than that part right there. They look crispier for the most part, mostly because I've filled that whole stencil in, and then I'm just blending on top of the stencil. So I think that is the coolest one that we did today. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. And so all of these are layered stencils. So now that I've used that one, I can lay this one in and fill in those other gaps with something else once this dries, right? Because if I stick this on there, big mess. Okay, I said we would pull the other ones back and have a look and see. So this was the second page and this was the first one. So that's the first one we did. This was just the glacier paste and we played with different colors. I can feel from the bottom that this is still wet. So it's been half an hour-ish, 40 minutes maybe. And on the surface, I can touch these, but I'm still getting a little bit here and there where it's a little bit higher coming off on my fingers. So they're not dry enough yet. That hasn't been enough time. And I can feel the dampness through the paper a little bit from the glacier paste. But yeah, this is so pretty. And then once you add the layers in with the other layers of stuff, oh my gosh, like so nice. And so here were the ones where we did more testing. This is where I laid the lighter colors down first and then put the green over top. And this is where I put the green down first and then put the lighter colors over top. And this one here is where I put the texture paste down first. So if I'm looking at all of these and comparing them, my favorite is this one with the paste. See, just having a look. Sorry, can you see it better there? Just comparing them, I really think that with the texture paste first, it looks creamier, like softer and creamier, and I like the look of that more. Oh, there was a bunch of stuff on there. Look at me mucking things up. I'm mucking up the back. It's not a big deal, just the back. I set it down on part of the stencil. Okay, so pretty. I know, it's so lovely. Karen says, would you do the flat elements before you use the texture paste so the stencil sits flat on the page? Absolutely. Normally what I would do is use my last layer would be the textured layer. So when I've done other pages that are like that, do I have that one here? Okay, well, this is one I did here last week. I still didn't get a chance to sit down and finish it. But like this one had the layered pieces. I didn't use texture paste on this, but I did go in and I add Nuvo drops on top in the centers of some of the flowers. You can see the little Nuvo drops, and of course you do that last. So anything that has that texture, anything that has to dry is usually the last layer that I do. In this case, I'm doing it first because I'm just experimenting to see. When I experiment like this, then I know like what direction am I actually going to go in when I sit down to make a page and really create with that. So we did this one here. This was on the day we did no line watercolor. So if you're looking through the Happy at Home playlist, you'll see the No Line watercolor. This was what we were experimenting with for these. And this part here with the watercolor at the bottom we did on the next day, which was I think the following Monday. And we played with watercolor backgrounds that day. And so these are the pieces that are coming together for that page. So yeah, but definitely, yeah, do your flat stuff first and then add your texture things. And that way you can just set it aside to dry too. Makes it a lot easier. I will be able to go in back to this and add some more texture and layers because like here, this is the open leaf stencil. So this one is one of the other layers. I can still go in and add this layer even with my ink, especially with ink. It will be somewhat easier with ink because the ink will allow you to kind of go in each little spot that you need to go and dauber it in or brush it in with your brush, depending on what applicator you're using. But if you're using like one of these applicators or your brush, you can kind of get it nice and flat in that one specific area, even if it doesn't sit completely flat on your whole surface. So yeah, oh my gosh, like this has turned out so good today, you guys. I love this Nuvo Glacier Paste. We didn't even spread it just onto the paper. Like you can totally just take it and spread it. Let's do that a little bit before we run, right? We should do that a little before we run. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this white. So this will be our little finishing touch here. I'm just gonna do a smoosh across here with some of this white. And this could be like a beautiful base for a card or something. And it just adds like so much gloss and so much shine, but it's so subtle, right? It just picks up the light because the mica isn't, it's not in your face shine the way sparkle is, right? Or the way glitter is. That's really in your face. Whereas this stuff is so much more subtle. And here I'm just like smoothing it across some of the white as I bring just a little hint of the pink across the white. And I think that's extra pretty. And then I'm gonna grab just my dark pink and do that as well. This will be our little finishing touch. Oh, I got a little bit of different color in there. This one actually was the most, if I'm touching it in here, it's the most dried out. You can see it's almost more like foamy a little bit of a texture, jelly-like. So this one maybe is on its way towards drying out, so I might be needing to actually get my my crafty butt in gear and actually start using that a little bit more. And you can see, like, you can get streaks, you can get lines, you can kind of just do whatever with it. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to bring it up here too. And then I'll mix it in with a little bit of the white part up here. And then I think I need just a little touch more of the light pink. And then this will be really pretty. So I just look at this, like, how nice would this be to like cut a cool title out of or something for a page, or to have just like this little piece that tucks behind a photo, you know, instead of having like strips of pattern paper or something. This could be kind of cool in behind there. A little bit of the light pink in there. Yeah. Oops. One's almost not. It's dry enough. There we go. There we go. Let's have a look at that shine on it. So shiny, so pretty. And I've applied it super thin, so this layer will dry fairly quick, actually. like the thinner you can apply it. When you're putting it through a stencil, you're more like limited to the depth of that stencil as your minimum. But when you're just smearing it like this, you can make it quite thin. So anyways, this has been our Nuvo Glacier Paste day. I haven't even scratched the surface of all the fun you can have with the Glacier Paste. Like, it's totally fun. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite mixed media products. I would say like this modeling paste and this make it even more fun together. Bring the two together has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think tomorrow we are going to be talking about a journaling topic. So if you struggle with scrapbook journaling, tomorrow might be a good day because we're going to be talking about an aspect on journaling. So I think that can be a lot of fun, and journaling doesn't have to be so scary. There's a lot of great tips that we can use to bring into our journaling. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. If you'd like to connect with me on Instagram, if you've done something with this Nuvo Glacier Paste or you've tried something that I haven't thought to try yet, please go ahead and show me and tell me about it. Be like, Alice, I used this stuff and it was so great. Reach out to me on Instagram. That would be a great place to reach me. You are welcome to come and check out our Scrap Happy community. You can find us at scraphappy.org, and be sure that you are signed up to our mailing list at scraphappy.org/subscribe. Diane says, thanks, Alice. I enjoyed the class. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I really love that doing these sessions. It has been so much fun. And I just wanted to say thank you. Diane says, don't forget to hit the like button. You guys are just so sweet. Missy says, thanks for bringing us along on your experimentations. I love seeing all the goodness that happens. Like, I'm excited. Even just this little swatch right here with the pink, like, that's going to make a fun title or a base for a title. Putting black letters over top of that. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, I'm excited. Okay. Hopefully you're going to play with your scrapbooking and have some fun and experiment on your own, and that will be the best thing ever. Hopefully this made your day a little more happy at home. So happy scrapping, everyone. Bye.